Why are only some countries rich? Holy guacamole, what a fine, black, filthy rock. When I was young, I could never understand why my brother always got a tiny black piece of coal for Christmas. Much, much later, my dad and grandfather and mother and neighbor and cousin and aunt and pet Labrador all told me it was because he was absolutely awful and it was his punishment. Oh, I said, you lot are slightly awful too for giving a small boy a lump of coal. This piece of coal fascinated me. My grandfather was a miner and spent all day underground mining out this tiny black fossil fuel rock. Everybody in the region did the same. This stuff was incredibly important because it burns for hours and hours and hours while releasing a lot of energy. Steamships and steam trains were like giant ovens burning this coal to move things around. That's when it hit me. One of the reasons why my country had become rich was because they had this natural resource. They could dig it up, burn it, stay warm, move goods, and all kinds of other things, like throw it at each other into the snowballs. It was so magical. It was all so magical. The country could operate machines with giant furnaces, and everybody laughed and smiled and coughed. Still better to be rich and sick rather than poor and healthy, right? Your Bob. My grandfather taught me another lesson. If your Bob doesn't give our Bob that your Bob owes our Bob, then our Bob is going to give your Bob a bob on the nose. It's all about money. Hooray! Some countries are rich because they find a way to make money, which sounds simple, but it's not. You can be rich because you have natural resources. You can also become rich by trading. Imagine you have so many carrots growing in your country. They're everywhere, and you don't even like them. They're easy to grow and inexpensive to buy. Now imagine another country, like Japan, that doesn't have much arable land to grow carrots. You can take your dirt cheap carrots and sell them to Japan for a much higher price because they can't grow them. Poor Japan. You don't even need to trade carrots and get something else from them. You can just say, pay me a bob. They'll give you money for the carrots you don't want and you'll get richer. That's what countries like Russia do, and sell gas and oil. Sell something you have too much of. My robot is pooping. That would be marvelous, a walking, talking, pooping robot. But alas, nobody wants a pooping robot except me. That's a terrible idea, except I don't think so. However, if you had a robot that could walk and talk and solve math problems, you'd have a great solution. You could make the robot solve problems all day long and no other countries could copy you. It would be inimitable. Your country would have a huge competitive advantage. Think of a country like South Korea. They don't have much arable land or natural resources, but they do have one competitive advantage. Kids who know tons of things. Education can be a huge advantage over another country because you can do things they can't.